The Call is a brand new South Korean thriller. I'll go with thriller. That is currently streaming on Netflix. Now, there's been a good amount of praise and talk about this one, and I can absolutely understand why. It's a very damn good movie. As far as like the whole argument, horror, not horror, who gives a shit? It's a good movie. Now, what do I want to go with first here? I'll go with first that one of the problems I had with the film personally, which kind of held it back a little bit from being great, and maybe this is unfair. It is unfair. So I'm kind of annoyed with myself a little bit on this, but there's a movie from 2011 starring Rachel Lefevre, however you say this chick's name, Stephen Moyer, called The Caller. So The Caller, which I've seen a few times now, and it is very similar to this movie. Very, very similar to this movie. And I love The Caller. I really like The Caller a lot. So when I was watching The Call, I was like, oh, wow. I think this would have been a lot cooler to me had this been an original idea, you know. And all really it comes down to is there's a girl, she gets a call from another girl, and she figures out that the girl who's calling her is calling her from the past, and they live in the same house. And so they kind of keep talking back and forth. Now, the whole like phone calls with the dead or the past or whatever, we've seen this. This is not, something The Caller owns. Whether it be frequency or there's stuff out there for sure. That said, I just felt like this mirrors a lot of stuff that goes on within The Caller. But I think that this actually does tell the story better. Like, this is just an expanded upon version of The Caller. Almost as if it is a remake of it, just done probably better. And so it's kind of funny that I kind of knocked this down a little bit because of this film, even though I do probably consider this new one to be the superior film. So that's why I'm saying it's kind of unfair. But overall, it's very, very good. And I did like places they took it that I was not expecting in the moment. And the way they do it. I'm trying to keep this very vague. But when something happens in the film for the first time, which I didn't know if they were going to go for, because in these kinds of movies, they typically are very... I don't know. I don't want to ruin anything, so fuck. But when something happens for the first time, I was like, oh, okay, they are going to go in that direction with this idea. Cool, I like that. And the way they visually did it, I was like, oh, that's really neat. Now, this is definitely not one you want to overthink, just because anytime you're dealing with time, like time travel or time paradoxes, all that kind of stuff, you'll drive yourself fucking insane being like, well, I mean, if this happened, then why didn't this happen, and blah blah blah. The time thing is always going to be a problem, no matter what film it's in, whether it's Back to the Future or fucking anything. It does not matter. Anything you put time travel into, or anything dealing with time like we have set up in here, you're gonna have issues. So just let them go. Otherwise, you're gonna have a bad time. And then, okay, that all said, getting all that out of the way, it's a very good movie. I definitely think you should check it out. I do have a pretty big gripe with the film, and this is something that a film a few years back did, and it really pissed me off. So this movie ends, and honestly, like, when the credits roll, I went to shut it off. Had I not, I wouldn't have seen the after credits sequences that completely changed the movie. And for me, that was like, I really liked the ending. I didn't like what they tacked on in the credits stuff. So I was kind of annoyed. I was like, oh, fuck, man. That was a really beautiful, cool ending. And I really liked what it, like, meant and everything. And then they just kind of give it a little cheap extra thing that kind of ruins it all. So, it didn't ruin the film, because I just typically don't let that happen. But it did ruin the ending for me. Like, I thought the ending was really good and wrapped things up really beautifully. And I was like, oh, okay, that's really sad and you know, a poignant message and this and that, but I like it. And then they kind of just got cheap with it for me, like almost too tropey, where the rest of the film I feel is so genre pushing. Like, it's really trying new things and trying to spin things in different directions and whatnot. So, and the performances are all very good from the two lead actresses, especially the one in the past is really, really good. They both are. But I think she just gets to have a little bit more fun with it, I guess is how you'd say it. But yeah, so like all that being said, the ending really did hurt the film for me. The fake, the real ending, the real ending, I don't like when they do that. Like, when the credits fucking roll, man, I don't know. Like, really? You're going to tack something on that's going to dramatically change the film after the credits? Like, start to roll? I don't know. Is that fair? I mean, maybe us as the audience, we leave the fucking theater too soon, and it's not until, like, the movie's over that it's over. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. But I don't like it. I don't like the ending I got. Let's just say that. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, it's on Netflix. If you're a big South Korean fan, as I am, and I've been kind of watching a bunch of them lately. And, of course, as always, I really enjoy them all. This is very good. Just have some gripes with it. Let me know when you watch it. And if you really like this one and you want to check out The Caller, from 2011, make sure you check out that one as well. And let me know about both. Or just this one. Or whatever you choose. Adios.